Invoice rate sheets are the backbone of accounting and are used to tell LoadCall how to calculate invoices for each load. Rate sheets include the ability to customize which charges to bill a customer with and how those charges are calculated. Uploadable variable lookup tables enable rate sheets to base pricing off of mileage, fuel prices, or other data tables. An important thing to note is that rate sheets are not tied to customers. Rate sheets can be reused between different customers if you have the same rates. And in order to tie them to a customer, we're going to look at invoice application rules in a different video. In order to create a rate sheet, all we have to do is click on this green New Rate Sheet button and give it a name. So I'm going to call this Test Rates. When we click Save, it'll open up this page where we can manage the rate sheet. You can also access this page by clicking on the Manage Rate Sheet underneath the three-dot menu. One thing to note out here is that you can tell that this rate sheet has not been configured completely because it has 9 errors as of right now, and it has not been linked to any customers. But let's go ahead and go into the Manage Rate Sheet. And in here, we can see that there are a few things that we need to do. There are 9 errors thus far. If we hover over the magnifying glass, it'll tell us exactly what we're missing. And in this case, we're missing a bunch of charge logics. So the charge logics are this first tab right here, and these determine how we are going to calculate the bill for our customer. So right here for chain up, if we click this drop down, we have the ability to choose how to charge the customer for this specific line item. And these are preset in a different part of the software that we'll go over in another video and are completely customizable as well. But let's go ahead and say we're going to do chain up with this default chain up logic. If we click on the magnifying glass, we can actually pull up the logic editor, which just in this case, it shows that you take up the number of times that a chain up event occurred and multiply it by the chain up fee, and then divide it by splits if that's something that's going on. So if we go and fill the rest of this out really quick, I'm going to say that we're not charging fuel surcharge. We'll map the mask up fee, and we'll go ahead and do just normal rate per barrel calculations on that for the line haul. On the receiver wait time, let's just say that they don't support wait time, so I'll put no charge for that. Reject. You can also go ahead and type in here to filter it down so we can pull up the reject load. Split loads, we'll just say that there's no charge in this case. So we've gone ahead and we've mapped out all of our charges, but if you scroll up, you'll notice that there are still some errors on this rate sheet. And these errors are going to be under the next step right here where we have the variables tab. So underneath variables, we can see that there are a few of them that have these little red attention icons next to them as opposed to these little gray ghosts. The red attention icons indicate that we need to fill out a value for this because they are being used in the charge logics. So this is actually dynamic. If we went into charges and we changed it to use, let's say shipper wait time right here. Let's find a wait time. Instead of having 4 errors, we now have 5 errors because we are now also needing to put in the time cost per hour on the shipper wait time right here. So this list will dynamically populate based on the charges so that we make sure that everything's set up properly. So let's go ahead and put in numbers here, and you can see as you do that, they'll go from red to green to indicate that they are good. So I'm just going to put in some numbers here. We'll put in a minimum load of 175. Reject, we'll charge 100. And then wait time, cost per hour, we'll do 75. So after we do that, there are no more errors at the top of this rate sheet. This rate sheet is good to go, except for the lookups, which we'll go ahead and do that in the next segment. So the last step we have to do to set up a rate sheet is to go into the lookups tab, assuming that you have a charge that needs one of these. But what the lookups tab does lets you go ahead and upload lookup tables where the variable amount that you're going to use in your charge logic is dependent on a driver input or some other variable. So in here, the most common example would be the price per barrel is a function of miles. So depending on the number of miles the driver drives, you would have a table that says how much you can charge per barrel. So let's go ahead, and you could go ahead and download the template to upload with, but I've already gone ahead and done that. So we're going to go ahead and import this. So I'm going to come in here to downloads and select the template that I've already filled out. And you can go ahead and see that if a driver drives 5 miles, then it'll be $1.12 per barrel in this case. And that number increases as you go down. So the more that they drive, the more you can charge for that. So this can be customized to work with other things like diesel prices or things like that you may use in your charge logics. So with that, we've gone ahead and we have completely customized out this new test rate sheet. You can download a PDF version of it and see what it looks like, which may be useful to hand out to customers with your different rates and your pay scale here. Other things that are useful in this page is the ability to quickly toggle between other rates. So this tab's kind of long, but if we go back up here and go into a different tab, we can quickly jump between different rate sheets. So this is that standard one I had at the beginning, and then the one we just made. So you can quickly refer to other rate sheets and see how you did things on them if it needs to be similar. The other thing in here is application rules, which we'll talk about in another video. But this is the ability to apply this rate sheet to a specific customer and set of circumstances. So we'll cover that in a different video that you can access in the support pages. A couple more minor things to note with rate sheets. If we go back into here, onto this main page, underneath the 3-dot menu, you can always come back to manage, get back to that page by clicking on the manage rate sheet. We can download it just like we did on the other page. You can delete it. And you can also copy it if it's a good starting place for your future rate sheet. So if you have one where you're just tweaking it slightly for a different customer or something, you can copy it and start off the bat with it mostly filled out to make it even easier for you. So yeah, that should pretty much explain most everything with rate sheets.